Explore the vibrant arts and culture landscape of Michigan, a state with a thriving creative ecosystem that has birthed iconic movements like Motown and the Purple Rose Theater. Home to legendary musicians, writers, and artists, Michigan boasts a rich tapestry of cultural heritage known worldwide. Michigan Creates is a podcast series that will connect listeners with gifted artists and cultural institutions that are nurturing Michigan's vibrant creative landscape. Welcome to Michigan Creates, the podcast highlighting the people and stories behind Michigan's vibrant arts and culture scene. I'm your host, Ara Topouzian. My guest today is Lisa Howard, Executive Director of the Plymouth Community Arts Council. Since 2011, Lisa has been at the forefront of bringing accessible arts programming to her community. Everything from youth camps and gallery expositions to concerts in the park. Her passion for creative engagement has helped make the Plymouth Community Arts Council a true cultural cornerstone in western Wayne County, Michigan. Let's jump into the conversation. Lisa, thank you for being on the program today. I'm looking forward to talking to you and learning a lot more about the Plymouth Community Arts Council. So thank you for being on the program.
Yes, thank you for inviting me.
So first, let's talk about your background a bit. How long have you been with the Plymouth Community Arts Council?
I have been with the organization for about 14 years, 11 and a half as the executive director. So I started there teaching preschool classes, moved into doing some graphic design, exhibit direction, working on summer camps and exhibits. And then when the director before me left, they invited me to become a bigger part of the organization, and I gladly accepted.
Excellent. So there are some community arts organizations that are connected, to a city or a township. That's not the case, right? You're serving the community, but you're not affiliated necessarily with the city.
That's correct. We are an independent nonprofit organization. We don't receive any tax money per se from the city or the township. Like you said, other organizations are set up with that type of business model. We get all of our funding from individual donors, through local philanthropists, through generous foundations, but all through grants that I write or things that I apply to. So while we're great friends with the city and the township and our surrounding communities, honestly, we pull from a lot of western Wayne County. We are not directly funded by any of those communities.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. So now when you go through the website, which is PlymouthArts.com,
Correct.
There are an abundant amount of things that you have going on. And so I want to first focus on maybe some of what you're doing for artists and the different programs that you've got going on.
Yes, you're right. We do have a lot of things going on, from arts education to artists, to partnerships, within our community. For artists specifically, and I'll start with adult artists, we have an on-site gallery at the Plymouth Community Arts Council, which serves as a wonderful exhibit space for local artists. You don't need to be part of a specific art group. You don't even need to be a member, actually, at the Arts Council. I'd love to have members as artists, and most are, but there's opportunities for all kinds of artists to exhibit with us through the year. We have about 11 different exhibits, from solo artists to art groups to scholarship exhibits, summer camp, 3 open calls for artists during the year, and then 1 specific art show every December for our member artists. But the gallery isn't just a designated gallery, which really makes it very special. We also host other individuals, businesses, and organizations to use that gallery space during the month. So the art in our gallery gets shown to groups of people that wouldn't ordinarily be in an art gallery that day. It provides a backdrop for lots of milestone family events, for business meetings, for piano recitals. So it's a very unique
Yeah.
opportunity.
So there's a lot of multifunctional use. You've got a physical facility that can really house a lot of that. Lisa, the artists that come to you, how do you find them? Do they indeed come to you? Are you out seeking artists? How does that work?
Well, we do all of those things.
Yeah.
Actually, sometimes it's someone who walks into our space for another reason and maybe doesn't realize that we show art. They might be a professional artist or just starting their art, professional body of work and are looking for a place to show. Sometimes it's friends of mine who are artists who I know have been working on putting work together. Sometimes we put 2 or 3 artists together with maybe like or unlike work to show together. So we do that in all different ways. There's a lot of really wonderful local art groups. Birmingham Society of Women Painters is coming to the gallery. I think they've done 3 or 4 shows with us, as has Colored Pencil Society of America. We used to host 3 Cities Art Club. And then our scholarship exhibits, we seek out those student artists who are applying for art scholarships through the PCAC to exhibit their work. So all different ways.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. You could parlay right into what you're doing with the youth. You've got summer camps that you offer and other kinds of workshops. Talk about that scholarship for a minute. How does that work?
So we have some different types of scholarships. The first are ones that high school seniors apply through the Arts Council to have access to funding put up by local families, the Schulte family and the Mitchner family. Those scholarships are for high school seniors who will be attending college in the fall studying some kinds of arts. It's a way for all of us to partner to let these students know that what they're studying is important and valued, and for them to know their community is behind them. And then their work gets exhibited as part of our Emerging Artist show every May. The other types of scholarships that we do are student scholarships. We don't ever want an art class fee to be a barrier to learning more about the arts. And so we do offer scholarships. I say for the asking, it's a very informal process, but families just contact me and let me know that they would like their student to attend class, and I work together with them and some local funders, including our Plymouth Kiwanis, who offer scholarship monies to the Arts Council each year.
And it's great to hear it because you're called Plymouth Community Arts Council. It doesn't sound like everything is strictly for those that are residents in Plymouth Township, right? You can draw from everywhere to come.
Yes, anyone is welcome to attend, our classes and workshops, apply for scholarships. We have young people that come to summer camp who are from Florida, and they come visit their grandma in Plymouth every year during the summer, and they come to camp with us. We had a family whose grandchildren were Korean, and we actually had them in camp for 3 years with us. Both of them during their first year did not speak English yet. And so our staff and our kids kind of embraced that as a fun summer project, learning to communicate with them. So yes, people can be from anywhere to participate in our programs. We offer a discount, of course, for member artists and member families, but it's not required that you be a Plymouth resident.
So as I said earlier, you're doing a ton of stuff, and you just talked about your staff. I mean, your staff's fairly small, right? It's you and isn't it you and one other, if I read that right? And you're probably counting on a ton of volunteers. Why don't you fill me in?
Well, I'm full-time there, and I have 2 key assistants. One is Ashlyn Turner. She was my intern from Siena Heights last year, and she's come on for this year until she goes off and gets her master's degree to help me out with support duties as my assistant this year. And then Tyler Howard has been working with the Arts Council since he was 16 years old. He's going on 31 now, but he does event setups. He does a lot of my background programming, all my database work. So they're both part-time. During the summertime, I hire in contractors. So I really do believe in paying my staff. I expect a lot from them. I don't just hire them in randomly for a class. I hire them in for specific things. And we all kind of teach and interact with our students according to our PCAC educational philosophy, which is a little bit different than some other programs in the area. I use the visual thinking strategies that's also taught by the DIA. When we interact with art, I have a creativity, like a student creativity base model for all of our classes. So we don't use kits or, copying, paint this like I'm painting it. It's all technique instruction plus the students' own creative ideas. And that's where we're a little different. I like to say yes to any of the creative solutions, self-expression, using different materials than what we might be using. So I really do believe in paying my staff and having a great employment opportunity there for them. So local college students, professional teachers, some from our school district and other school districts. And then I have my assistants are all local high school students, and a lot of them have come up through our programs as students themselves. So that's what's really nice about kind of creating that family.
So speaking of, paying staff and whatnot, you also then, again, another great little parlay into you have a gift shop as well. So
Yes.
You're also helping artists sell their products. And how important is that within your organization? It seems that artists, when I talk to different artists, they have a real difficult time with connecting to an audience to be able to sell their product or sell their creations. How has the gift shop helped in a way to maybe alleviate a little bit of that frustration that artists have?
Yeah, I think, there's so many, electronic shop venues for artists. And I think the artists that are successful in selling their work create some kind of in-person connection with their collectors. So, serving as that, brick and mortar spot where they can connect, but then also, artists and collectors knowing that there's someone, I'll call it legitimate, kind of standing for these people and providing, a nice space for them to sell their work is really important in that full circle. All of our gallery work is for sale as well. So having a place to buy original artwork, I think is from a reputable person is really important.
So you've got support for the artist, but then again, let's maybe circle back on support for your arts council. So you're getting support, you said earlier, from individual donors, and you're getting some grants. Obviously, in really any environment, that's extremely important. But folks can go online and they can contribute. It's a tax deductible donation, but you go after grant dollars all the time. What else would you add to the story that we haven't touched on already?
Well, like you said, donations are always accepted to support the arts. We try to make that as easy as possible. We have that donate button right there at the top of the homepage of our website. Sometimes people just have a little bit, or maybe there's something close to their heart, or maybe a gift in honor of someone in their life that inspired them to be creative. All of those types of donations happen all the time at the Arts Council. We do have, a couple of really generous key donors in our community. And I think that's really important for people to know that it costs a lot of money to have an arts program. Our donors, the key donors that we have are local, all of them. The Royal Cox Foundation, we have and administer $1 million grant That was a gift from them. It's a restricted grant for music and arts that go on in and around Kellogg Park, which is right in downtown Plymouth. Jack Wilcox left his entire state to our community, and that's just an extraordinary gift. Another one of our supporters is the Margaret Dunning Foundation. They funded all of our brick and mortar and capital improvements to our building during the pandemic. New gallery floor and lighting and ceiling and paint, new parking lot, new exterior, new outdoor lighting. And so Margaret Dunning's legacy, continues to live on through the arts. The Relentless Care Foundation, through Community Financial Credit Union, granted a $1,000 operating budget grant this year, which I know that you're familiar with operating budget grants. They're not easy to come by, but it was in support of our, creating a strong and creative-minded youth workforce. And it supports our education program, our art enrichment outreach program that's in our public, private, and charter schools. So really important work as we support our kids, moving into a very different workforce than we came into when we graduated from high school. And then the ArtsCo Foundation, that was formed back in the late 80s to support both the house next door, which we rent out 24/7 to Plymouth School of Music, and the Plymouth Community Arts Council and our future endeavors. So those, together with local business sponsors and these key foundations, we are able to do all of our work. So very, very exciting for me to be part of those, 4 big gifts that we've received.
That's terrific, Lisa. I mean, it really speaks volumes of the work that you're doing there. There doesn't seem to be a dull moment on your side of town there. So congratulations for all that. Again, for folks that are interested, they can go to PlymouthArts.com and grab some more information and learn more about the organization. But Lisa, thank you very, very much for being on the program today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Michigan Creates. We hope you've had fun diving into the creativity of our state. From Motown melodies to artisanal wonders, Michigan never fails to dazzle. But hey, the creativity doesn't stop here. Connect with us online, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new episodes. Help us spread the word and also share your own artistic stories. So until next time, I'm Ara Topouzian, and I want you to keep those musical instruments in tune, keep those paintbrushes moving, and keep those cameras rolling. Remember, in Michigan, the only limit is your imagination. Stay creative.